सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यास्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नमामि निरस्यस्य योगिगम्यं परमपदं खानिलाभ्यरित्यन्तं स्रक्फणीवोद्गतं यथा ध्वान्तच्छिदे नमस्तस्मै हरये बुद्धिसाक्षिणे। श्रीधर कुर्वतः Jupiter. So Siddhanti said that jnana alone is moksha sadhana, to which there are two pakshas of the Purvamamsaka. One who agrees such a jnana is possible, and another who says that such jnana is not possible. Mukhya Purvamamsaka darshana is what? There is no such jnana possible. Karma alone gives moksha. The jnana which is discussed in the Vedanta is all what? Arthavada. It is all glorification of the karta, who is a karaka for the karma. Karma is pradhana. Without the karta, karma cannot be done. It is for the purpose of the karta. So karta is glorified so that he ends up doing karma. That is the sthiti. Now, earlier paksha, Abhyupagamavada, Purvamamsaka said that let jnana be there, but karma alone can give moksha. When karma can give moksha, why do you need jnana at all? Now the Siddhanti has asked as to Abhyupagatan chet jnanam. If you agree that jnana is possible, such a jnana is possible, what kind of jnana? Finally, Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana Mukti. By which jnana such Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana Mukti happens, that kind of jnana is possible. If you have accepted it, then Abhyugatan chet, that you accept that mukti is Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana, and you agree that such jnana is possible, then agree that jnana is sadhana for moksha. What is the problem? This Siddhanti asked this to the Purva Pakshi, to which this Purva Pakshi is going to answer now. Abhyupagatan chet jnanam tathaeva mukti svikriyatam tameva viditvati murtimeti ityadi shrutehe iti ashankya idanim dvitiyam Purva Paksha maha. What is the Dvitiyam Purva Paksha? Dvitiya Purva Paksha is that such jnana is not possible. Swarupa Avasthana and such kind of mukti is not possible. We talked about obstacles to jnana, or rather obstacles to being in the Swarupa as your Paksha, Vedanti's Paksha, and said that even in that case, karma can take away all the obstacles. Why do you need jnana? But the fact is that such jnana, such Swarupa Avasthana is not possible, says the Purva Pakshi now. So the answer is what? Abhyupetyeti. Bhagavan Sureshwaracharya says, Vartikakara, Abhyupetya evam uchyate. It is an Abhyupagamya vada. Hypothetically, if at all such jnana is possible, if at all such mukti, which is called as Swarupavasthana Lakshana, then karma can produce such a result. How Anitya can give Nitya Moksha? Anitya can give Nitya Moksha in the sense that it will take away the obstacles. So, Katham chit sadhayama, he has said. How? Because your Kriyamana karma is taken away. by not doing kamya and pratisiddha, and prarabdha goes away by bhoga, and nitya naimittika karma will counter everything that comes up. As yesterday Yogi ji had said that it takes away sanchita. Siddhanta is that it cannot be taken away. But Purvamimamsaka brings up these points also. He says that you keep on, doing nitya naimittika karma, it will take away sanchita also, punya papa. Papa basically. But he'll say punya papa because with punya you'll have janma, and moksha is what? Nitya. You cannot have janma and suffering. So Siddhanti asked the Purvamimamsaka, again Abhyupagamavada, this is an aside. It's all going to come up. But he says, if at all we agree that some karma is going to counter the sanchita also, papa, but there is no virodha of the punya with punya. Papa has virodha with punya, meaning papa can counter, let's say, prayaschitta kind of a punya can be countering papa, which is opposed to punya. They don't have sakshat opposition, really. Not all punya is opposed to papa, not all papa is opposed to punya. Like you are filling up a barrel with rice and wheat. Rice and wheat are not opposed to each other. Ghada bhar jayega. So you will keep on filling with punya and papa. When punya is ready to fructify, then it will give sukha. Think of a small outlet, below the drum, or a barrel. You are filling in whatever comes in, you fill in. The outlet will let whatever go. Now, it is not true that whatever has been filled in earlier, that will come out earlier. Some heavy things or some, fluidy things may go, deeper and they may come out earlier. So, karma vyavastha, we do not know. It's like that once you have put it inside the barrel, in the sanchita, we don't know what will fructify when. But prayaschitta karma is said to oppose particular kind of papa. Particular prayaschitta will counter particular papa. And there are some samanya prayaschitta also, which will counter, unknown things, which is not known. I'm suffering, I don't know why. Jyotisha does not show. Something is there. So, some general prayaschitta. But papa and punya otherwise are not opposed to each other. They will not counter each other. More punya will take away papa, that is not true. More papa will take away punya, that is also not true. Some papa does eat away into punya. It will reduce the result. So it's very gahana karmanogati. We don't know how exactly it works. These are all general ideas from Shastra gives some hint. That's all. Shastra also cannot talk about it exhaustively. We don't know. Details we don't know. However, when Purvapakshi says that karma will counter sanchita, will take away sanchita, there are two issues. One is Abhyupagamavada. With that, we'll say, if at all your punya, this is some kind of a prayaschitta karma, then that can counter papa all right. But it cannot counter punya. How will punya go away? So such ideas are there. Purvamimamsakas do talk about that, and Siddhanti counters that. That is Abhyupagamavada. Then he says that in your own darshana, Purvamimamsaka's darshana, nitya karma does not have any result. One paksha of Purvamimamsaka. If it does not have any result, then how do you say it counters the sanchita? Sanchita, prarabdha, which is unfolding today, that dukkha will be countered. Some part. So pancha yaga, all that if you do, then manushya yaga, bhuta yaga, all these will help you. Some minor issues, not big dukkha. Then some say that nitya karma will also have what result? Swarga only. Vishwajit nyaya. So Purvamimamsakas have a nyaya that if the result of the karma is not mentioned, then anyatha anupapatya. Shruti cannot talk about something which does not have results. So you will have result. And since it is not mentioned, it will be Swarga. Why? Sukharupatvat, Sarvesham Ishtatvat. Everyone wants Sukha. Even if we don't know that we want Swarga or not, or if we clearly know we don't want Swarga, we don't care for Swarga, but we want Sukha. Therefore, Purvamamsaka says you are saying that you don't want Swarga, but desire of Sukha is desire of Swarga really, because Swarga itself is Sukha Rupa. So you cannot say I don't want Swarga, but I want Sukha. It's the same thing. His perspective is that Swarga is Sukha Rupa. So some kind of Purvamamsakas would say that the phala for Nitya Naimittika karma is also Swarga. And if that is the case, then Siddhanti will say, in one paksha, Nitya Naimittika karma has no phala. In another case, it has phala. What phala? Swarga phala. But nowhere in Purvamamsakas, in Purvamamsaka Darshana, Nitya Naimittika karma is talked about as a counter to Sanchita Punya Papa. Therefore, such arguments won't work. You go with your own darshana or go with Shastra Pramana and Tarka, Mimamsa. In both cases, karma cannot take away Sanchita. That is the idea. I just wanted to touch upon this point again because there is such discussion as well. But generally in the talk, say, oh, let it be so, let it be so. Why not this way? So these ideas come up even if it is not agreeable to their own darshana, opposed to their own darshan. So similarly here now, Purva Mimamsaka says that what Siddhanti says about Swarupa Avasthana Lakshana, that itself is not possible. Jnana Sat Jnana is not possible. Abhyupetya evam uchyate. Earlier, all my discussion from 9 to 13 was what? Abhyupagama Vada says Purva Pakshi. Natu yathavasthita atmavastu vishayam jnanam asti. There is no such jnana called as yathavasthita atmavastu vishayam. The way the vastu is, what is that? Atma. Regarding that jnana, swarupa jnana, such swarupa jnana is not possible. Because that is not the swarupa really in his mind. Yathavasthita atmavastu vishayam jnanam nasti, natu asti. Why? How do you say so? Such jnana is not there. Just because I don't know something does not mean that such thing does not exist. You have seen many things in life. I have not seen, let's say. And you tell me such a thing is there. I said, not possible. Why? I don't know of it. Just because I don't know about it, Kupamanduka Nyaya. I cannot say, there's nothing like that. But what is a Purvapakshi saying? I don't care what you say. For me, Pramana is, I am an Astika. I am Astika. If you say an Astika in English, then it sounds like I am an Astika. So you have to say, I am Astika. So Vaidika, therefore I have Shraddha only in Shruti. So Tatpratipadaka Pramana Abhavat. It is not Pratyaksha to me. I can't use Anumana without any Pratyaksha as basis. Then how do I know this Yatha Avasthita Atmavastu Vishay Jnana is possible? Shruti should tell me Shabda Pramana. Such Shabda Pramana is not there at all. Tat Pratipadaka. Tat Pratipadaka means what? That kind of Jnana Pratipadaka Pramana is not there. Abhavat. That becomes the hetu for my conclusion that such Jnana is not there. Nasti. Natu asti. Tika. Pramana Abhavam eva darshayati. What is this Pramana Abhava? Lack of knowledge of Pramana does not mean lack of Pramana. Like in law they say, lack of proof does not mean that proof isn't there. Lack of proof means you don't have proof. Just because I don't have proof, I can't prove something does not mean it's true. I mean, what I'm saying is true. I can't prove it. Does not mean it is not true. If I don't have proofs, it may be true, but I can't prove it. So if that is the case, here he says, Pramana abhavam eva darshayati. What is Pramana abhava? Pramanam eva nasti. Tatha pramanam nasti means I should know all these pramanas I've seen. After scrutinizing after scrutiny, I see that such pramana is not there. Then I can say. In law, I can't say that because I cannot find out everything. The proof was not found. Prima facie, I looked at it, does not seem so. Inquired in deep, didn't get it. So evidence can be washed away. Veda's evidence cannot be washed away. Veda is nitya. It has been there earlier also, it will be there later also. Today also it is there. You cannot wash, there is no pramana washing away. Anyone can scrutinize Veda and come to a conclusion. That is pujyate vichara mimamsa. So Siddhanti takes that route. Always he says that you refer to the Veda. All your ideas, your earlier Tarkikas have said something, none of that comes close. Nobody is going to agree with it. You cannot conclude, but Vedas you can conclude with Tatpare Linga. You have to do Mimamsa, Pujita Vichara. Without the bias, you cannot have preconceived notion and then go to the Grantha. So here he says, Pramana Abhavam Eva Darshayati. How in the Shloka Yavantyaiti, Vartikara says, Yavantyascha, sorry, it's a Shloka. Yavantyascha vidyante shrutayas smritibhih sah vidadatyuruyatnena karmato bhuri sadhanam. So yavantyah, bahuvachana, strilinga. Yavantyah cha iha vidyante shrutayah. So Visheshana to Shrutaya is Yavantya. As many are which are there. Smriti bihi saha vidadhati uruyatnena karma ataha bhuri sadhanam. Adacheda. So iha Yavantyaha Shrutayaha Smriti bihi sa vidyante. As many Shrutis along which Smritis exist. You cannot fault Purva Mimamsaka like a today names like Chaturvedi, all these are just names. Because single Veda also, there are very few who have no Swashakha, not even single Veda, Swashakha in the Vedas, very few. Because the Gurukula system is almost all but gone. But that era, in that era, all the karma, Purvamimamsakas, karma kandis, they knew all these kantastha. Everything by rote, they know what is where. They can tell you. Many can even quote, So here he says, we have seen. Not that I have not seen Pramana, I am not making this statement just like that. It's not Vitanda, it's a fact. I have inquired, I have looked into it. In a sense, all of the Darshanikas, we have, if not an individual, but all of us put together, we know, the length and breadth of Shruti and Smriti, but still we have not found this Jnana that you talk about. Uruyatnena karmaha vidadati. Uruyatnena mahata prayatnena. It's a lot of effort. Shruti does what? Shruti and Smriti, it ordains karma. You do this. You want this, you do this. You don't want this, you do this. For anything you have to do. Pravritti. Even for nivritti of something, nivritti of dukkha, you have to have pravritti in karma. That's why it is vidhi nisheda shastra. You don't do this, you do this. If you don't do this, what is ordained, you will end up doing something else that will give papa. That's a fact. Vedanti says yes. That's why nitya karma has to be done. If you don't do nitya karma, abhava will not give rise to papa. Old papa will act. You don't have a kavacha of nitya karma, nitya naimittika karma. Second thing is that when I am supposed to do Trikala Sandhya, if I keep on doing something else, watching movies, chit-chatting, sleeping, not even having a bath, having bed tea, etc., what is going to happen? All those things are going to attract papa. Not that I have not done, because I have done something else. That something else is papa karana, because that is not the appropriate kala to sleep, laze around, eat in bed or whatever. So he says, Uruyatnena karma vidadati. All these Shrutaya Smritivihi that we have seen. Ataha bhuri sadhanam. Ataha karma bhuri sadhanam. Because Shruti takes a lot of effort, exhausts itself. Smriti, along with Smriti, to do what? To ordain karma. Therefore, karma is bhuri sadhanam. Bhuri, sufficient for everything. Pravritti, nivritti, moksha, what do you want? Putra kameshti, you want putra? Yes. Putra, putri, whatever. Dhana, ashtalakshmi, yes. Tatastu, Shruti will tell you what to do. So he says that if you have all solutions there except this jnana, then how can you say such jnana exists? It is not there. Tika. Uruyatnena mahata tatparyena. Mahatna tatparyena. Prayatnena tatparyena. That is the tatparya. Whatever is tirelessly mentioned, that is the tatparya. One of the lingas, shadlingas, tatparya. For tatparya, what is the linga here? Mahata uruyatnena abhyasa. Many times it is repeated. That is the tatparya, important thing. Bhuri sadhanam means what? Moksham pratyapi pushkalam karanam ityartha. Pushkalam karanam. Towards moksha also it is sufficient. Enough. This is enough. Don't need anything else. Don't keep on jumping. This is the idea that Purva Pakshi brings in. Vedanam Shakti Tatparya Aparijnana Vijrumbhitam Idam Pramana Abhava Vachanam Iti Shankate. Vedanti says, what do you mean you have seen everything? So our effort is, our darshana is nothing. I mean, come on, we have also studied. We have seen such vakyas. We have built the entire darshana based on this. How can you say you didn't find it? So he says, Vedanam Shakti Tatparya Aparijnana Vijrumbhitam Idam Pramana Abhava Vachanam. Iti Shankate. What is the doubt that Siddhanti brings in? This Pramana Abhava Vachana, that such Pramana is not there in Shruti and Smriti. Idam Vachanam, Pramana Abhava Vachanam, Kim? Shakti Tatparya Aparijnana Vijrumbhitam. Blabbering due to not knowing where is the Tatparya of the Shruti, Vedanam. What is Veda really trying to say? You call yourself as Purvamimamsakas, but you are stuck in the Karma Kanda. You have not seen Jnana Kanda well. The entire thing is called a Jnana Kanda. It is committed towards Jnana. In fact, Karma Kanda is also Paramparaya tuned towards that very Jnana. How can you say it is not there? There may not be as many statements of Jnana as there are of Karma. Of course, Karma is exhaustive. But just because it is exhaustive does not mean that is a Tatparya Vishaya. That it is right. The conclusion is right. Around the world, there are a huge number of people who are kamis, focused towards Kama Purushartha, Artha Purushartha. Does not make dharma and moksha wrong. That does not prove that they are right just because there are masses. That's why masses and classes. Classes are always different from masses and classes are less. So here he says, Vedanam Shakti Tatparya Aparijnana. Because you do not know what is the Tatparya Vishaya, you have not done your Mimamsa well. That is why you are Purva Mimamsakas and we are Uttara Mimamsakas. Not only categorization as Purva Bhaga and Uttara Bhaga. Yes, that is the main idea there. But the fact is, Uttara says you become the Purva Paksha. We are the Uttara Paksha. We have done the Tatparya analysis, learned from you how to do it and done it well. Better than you. So we'll show it. Syat Pramana iti. Syat Pramana iti. So Mula says, Syat Pramana asambhavaha bhavadaparadhad iti chet. He says this Pramana not being there, asambhava of Pramana. Syat, Shakyarte Vidhiling. What is a Shakyarte ling Vidhiling? Is it not really possible? I mean, I'm just asking Sambhavana. Is it possible that you may be wrong? As a Siddhanti to the Purva Pakshi. Is there a possibility that you would be wrong? Why? Bhavad aparadhat. It is your aparadha. You have not been able to spend sufficient time look through a neutral eye? Is it possible that your inquiry has been biased, or it is your flaw, not the flaw that it is not there? You say, see, for example, some right there, something is there, and you say it's not there. So somebody else is able to see, say, I can see it from this angle. How is it that you are sitting right there and you can't see? So something is covered on the table, right on the table. Somebody says, is it there? Not there. Why? I'm seeing it right there. I can't see it. It's not there. That is my problem because I cannot see it from this angle. Somebody sitting on the side is able to see. Possible or not? It's possible. So he says, Bhavad aparadhad pramana sambhava syat iti chet. Maybe it is your flaw, your fault, not it is your dosha, not Shruti or Smriti, not having pramana, but you are unable to find it. He says, Tanna. It is not, you can't, bring such an akshepa on me. Why? Tanna yataha. Here, Tika. Etad uttaratvena uttara shlokam avatarayati. As an answer to this, he says Tanna and brings the answer to this shloka in a shloka. Further in the Tika, why is it not so? अध्ययन विधि परिगृहीतानां वैदिक शब्दानां निष्प्रयोजनतानुपपत्तेः प्रयोजनस्य च प्रवृत्ति निवृत्ति साध्यत्वात् प्रवृत्ति निवृत्त्योश्च क्रिया विषययोः परिनिष्पन्ने वस्तुनि असंभवात् सिद्धार्थे वेदांतानां तात्पर्यं न संभवति इत्याह. These all the hetus together, prima facie, opening statement. Why not? Not without any reason. I'll give you reason, says the Purva Pakshi. Adhyayana vidhi parigrhitanam vaidika shabdanam. He says, nishprayojanata anupapattehe. That's one reason. What is the reason? Adhyayana vidhi is there. What is the Adhyayana vidhi? Swadhyayo adhyetavyaha. Everyone should at least study their own shakha, Veda shakha. Chanting. Learn to chant Vedas on own shakha in the Sampradaya, Rishi Rina. You have to do it. This is the Shruti. Adhyatva veditavya kartavyattvena. Pataniyam. So, Adhyayana vidhi parigrihitana Vaidika Shabdanam. These Vaidika Shabda are what? Parigrihita. There's a tippana here. Swadhyayo adhyetavyaha iti Shrutehe. So, Taittiriya Aranika says Swadhyayo. Swadhyaya is one's own Adhyaya. It is what? Adhyaya is our Shaka. Should be studied. So, those Vedika Shabdas which should be learned as per the Shruti ordainment, the prescription as to what? Vidhi, as to you have to study your Veda Shakha. So there I have undergone all this, says the Purva Pakshi. I have studied all that. There is a Vidhi. And it cannot be Nishprayojana. Vedika Shabdanam. What is the Vedic Shabdas? How are we learning these? How are we supposed to learn these Vedika Shabdas? Chanting. Adhyayana Vidhi Parigrihitana. They are Adhyayana Vidhi Parigrihita. Even this Vedika study, chanting, has come from a Vidhi. Shruti itself gives, you study me. Now, on a related note, there is an Akshepa, somebody may ask, this Shruti says you study. And before you study the Shruti, you won't know that it says you study. There's a catch-22. How do you know that such a Vidhi is there? How do you know it is a Vidhi unless you study it? You don't study it without Vidhi. Vidhi is inside. Unless you study, you won't get the Vidhi. There's a catch-22. It is like saying, I am great. Nobody knows. I just stated, I am great. How would you know? Somebody else says, I am great. I can understand. I myself say, I am great. So there's a catch-22 here. There's a dependency. So Ashraya dosha. Unless you study, you won't know that there is such a Vidhi that it should be studied. Swashaka should be studied. Siddhanta is very clear. He says, all these are tarka you can apply. There is no dosha because it's a karna sampradaya. We study because, not because Shruti says. Shruti says, our elders know that. Shruti says that. They have, how do they know? They knew from their elders. So outside the Shruti, there is a pramana. Shabda pramana is Shruti, but Shruti has come to our elders with a Karna Sampradaya. So you follow them. When you follow them, they say you study. Then you see that there is a Vidhi also. So you come to the Vidhi from an outside pramana, Shabda pramana. Aptavakya. Aptavakya tells you you should study. Parents tell you what is good for you. Gurus tell you what is good for you. You do that. Then you see, yes, really, it is good for me. Then Pratyaksha is there. After that, it's Shabda Pramana. So, Apta Vakya leads to Shruti Vakya, which is Pramana. Both are Pramana. And then Pratyaksha, you see the benefit. Just like in Loka, in Veda also. So, here he says, Adhyayana Vidhi Parigrihitana Vaidika Shabdana Nishprayojanata Anupapattehe. They cannot be Nishprayojana. Shruti says you do it. It should have some phala. What is the phala? You just do it. No, Shruti will not give you some work and say you will not get anything. Uru Yatnena, Shruti also tells you, do this karma. And the person who is doing also takes a lot of effort. Karma is not easy to do. Each karma is quite convoluted. It's not easy. It's not like your jnana says Purvapakshi. Jnana is also difficult. Those who are tried, they know. Vyakarana is difficult. Purvamimamsa also jnana is difficult. Tarka is extremely difficult. Vedanta, what to talk about it? Bhranti is possible, jnana bhasa. So here he says, Vaidika Shabdanam Nishprayojanata Anupapattehe. Nishprayojanatva is not possible. And Shruti says you study Vedas. 1. Prayojanasya cha pravritti nivritti sadhyatvat. What is the prayojana? Any prayojana, any phala. Prayojana is sadhya. Any prayojana, Shruti says, you want dhana, you want sukha, you want putradi, you want swarga, you want chitta shuddhi, whatever it is. For all that karma, you have to do. Will you do it if you already have it? No. People who have money, if someone asks, you have so much money, why do you need more? He says, I have this much money, I don't have that kind of money. I have one bungalow, I don't have two. One who has two, I don't have three. So it is always for something that you don't have. Hey, enough study. Why? Hey, Bhashya is enough. Why do you study Tika? Because there is more in Tika. I don't have it. I don't have that jnana. Let it be, Shabda Rashi. Okay. Let it be Shabda Rashi. Let's just say this, for moksha, this much is sufficient. Okay. My goal is not only that. My goal is I have to spend time. I have to fill my time with something. What should I do? Watch movies? Walk around and do what? So I study Tika. No, you study Bhashya. Okay. You study Bhashya, I'll study Tika. What is the problem? Okay, you study Tika. Why do you need Tarka? I'll study Tarka also. So someone says, okay, why do you sit in yoga? Why do you do all this? All this should not be done. Hey, let that person do. So what is not there, for that you do it. You never do something for which is already there. You don't eat eaten food. You eat something new. Like Tarkika say, why is bhojana, ishta for everyone? They say because this food fills my hunger. How do you know? Anumana. There is a vyapti there. Anumana. This food is going to be good for me. It will take away my hunger. Why? Like yesterday's food. Now there's a Purva Paksha to that Tarka also. The food that you are eating, let's say every day in the morning, let's say you are used to eating something, let's say idli or whatever, say poha or whatever. Let's take Indian examples, not cornflakes and all that. Whatever it is, whatever you prefer. So the same food, you say that this will be this will take away my hunger because yesterday's food did the same. But if you look at it, the food that is on the table, let's say you are used to eating poha every day, let's say it is poha only. Yesterday's poha and today's poha are different or not? So, if yesterday's poha filled your hunger, how can you say today's poha will also fill your hunger? May not. How do you know? Therefore, the Tarkika says what? It is not the same. It is samana jatiya. Not this poha. This poha jati food takes away my hunger. It need not be poha also. It can be anna jati, some food jati. Annatvat. So annatva is what? Anna jatiyatva is there. Anna. This is also anna, that is also anna. But this is not that anna. So he'll say what? Annatva is what? That anna samana. Anna jatiya samanya is there. So there is tarka which is used there. Now prayojana, when you have prayojana, you are eating food also with looking at prayojana. This prayojana is not siddha. Your hunger is there. Today hunger is there. That has not been taken away. That is the prayojana. If it is already siddha, you won't have sadhana. So Shruti is giving some karma for something which is sadhya. Taking away hunger. That is nivritti from hunger. For that, what should you do? Eat food. Shruti does not tell that. This is an example. Similarly, whatever Shruti says has a prayojana. So first step what? Vaidika shabdas are not nishprayojana. They should have prayojana. First step in logic, in his tarka. Second is what? Prayojana. How do you get prayojana? Prayojana should have a sadhana. Prayojana is phala. Shruti says something that has to have phala. What is that phala? Phala, prayojana. You see. Do you have it? You don't have it. You don't have it, then what should you do? Shruti says you do karma. Prayojanasya cha pravritti nivritti sadhyatvat. So if you want something that the Shruti says, sukha leading to sukha, you value it, do that karma. Pravritti. Pravritti becomes the sadhana for the sadhya prayojana. Then you don't want something, dukkha karaka. But it is there. I have dukkha, I have some problem. Shruti says, how do you deal with it? Says you do this karma. It will counter that. It will give you some prayashchita karma. That is why you are getting dukkha. So Shruti says, Shruti Smriti say, you do this. There also what? Nivritti, or you don't do this. Lot of dukkha. Why? They'll look up. Oh, you have done a lot of papa in the last janma. Such sanskaras are there. Stay away from these things. Nivritti. So karma and karma is what? Pravritti. Prayojana. What prayojana is there? Either you should have pravritti towards that goal or you should have nivritti from that so that you attain the goal. There are only two ways. Pravritti or nivritti. Pravritti means what? Karma. Nivritti means what? Nivritti also is karma. Don't do this. Nisheda. Basically what? Vidhi and nisheda. So prayojana, Vaidika shabdas are not nishprayojana. They are prayojana. They have prayojana. They are saprayojana. And prayojana is pravritti nivritti sadhya. Meaning it is attainable sadhya. That is the goal. Karma sadhya or karma nivritti sadhya or some prayashchita karma sadhya. Sadhyatvam is there. It should be attainable. Not already attained. Yours is praptasya prapti. That is where he is coming to. Pravritti nivrityoscha kriya vishayoho parinishpanne vastuni asambhavat. So now what is the third step of argument? He says kriya vishaya pravritti nivritti. Pravritti and nivritti both are what? Kriya vishaya. Without the kriya, you cannot have pravritti. Without the kriya, you cannot have nivritti. Says, too much of noise here. Walk away. Walking away is a karma. Nivritti is karma there. Kriya is involved. So if there is some noisy place, you want to talk something with someone else, you say, let's go elsewhere. So that going elsewhere, it is nivritti from here, but it is still kriya. That going is kriya. So nivritti also there is a kriya vishaya. Pravritti definitely kriya vishaya, which will lead to some prayojana. So pravritti leading to some prayojana or nivritti leading to some prayojana, both are kriya vishaya. Without the kriya, they are not possible ityartha. Then parinishpanne vastuni asambhavat. What? Pravritti nivrityoho kriya vishayeyoho parinishpanne vastuni asambhavat. Parinishpanna is siddha, already there. Once you already attained, then you won't do that kriya. Pravritti and nivritti kriya should have prayojana, which is to be attained sadhya, not siddha. That prayojana is already siddha, you won't do the kriya. So pravritti and nivritti kriya both have kriyas, and those kriyas you will do only when something is to be attained, not siddha but sadhya. Parinishpanna siddhe vastuni asambhavat. Your Brahma Atma vastu is parinishpanna siddha vastu. No Atma is going to be born from your sadhana. So here he says, Siddharthe Vedantanam Tatparyam na sambhavati. What is the conclusion? These Vedanta Vakyas are also Vedantargata Vakyas. They cannot be Nishprayojana. You apply these to Vedanta now. Your Vedanta, entire Vedanta Upanishad, now you analyze based on these rules. Says the Purvamamsaka, Purvapakshi. He says, Vedas have given you Vedanta. They are Veda Shabdas. How do you know this? How do you know those Veda Shabdas? You studied it. How did you study? There is a Vidhi also. Swadhyaya Adhyatavya. That Vedanta Jnana Kanda that you talk about, that Jnana Kanda is all Veda Shabda. All Veda Shabdas you have learnt only by Swadhyaya Adhyatavya Vidhi. Meaning Swashaka study, however it is, whether it has come from external pramana, based on, all that is a separate issue. But they are also Veda Shabdas. That's all is the statement the Purvapakshi is trying to make. Purvamamsaka says Vedanta Vakyas are Veda Shabdas only. So Vaidika Shabdas cannot be Nishprayojana. So your Jnana Vakyas that you claim they are Shuddha Jnana, they should be what? They should also be Saprayojana. If they have a Prayojana, that Prayojana is Pravritti Nivritti Sadhya. If they are Pravritti Nivritti Sadhya, they are Kriya Vishaya. And if they are Kriya Vishaya, then they cannot talk about something which is already attained. Otherwise, Kriya is not possible. Then, if Kriya is not possible, they will become Nishprayojana. Shruti cannot be Nishprayojana. Shruti should be Saprayojana. And what you are talking about, it is talking about Atma which is already Siddha. Brahma, Atma which is already Siddha. So it cannot be talking about that. Otherwise, it will not talk about it. So, Anyatha Anupapatya, because Shruti talks about it, because it should be Prayojana, it should be Saprayojana, because all these Prayojanas are Pravritti Nivritti Sadhya, all Pravritti Nivritti is Kriya Vishaya, and your Brahma, Atma is Parinishpanna Siddha. In unto that kind of Vastu which is Parinishpanna Siddha, Brahmatma, there is no Kriya possible. There is no Kriya Vishayatvam itself. There is not Pravritti Nivritti Vishaya also. It is already there. What will you do? You cannot do anything. You cannot generate it. It is already there. So Shruti cannot be talking about that Brahma. Therefore, this Jnana, Swarupa, Avasthana, Lakshana Jnana, all this, Yatha Avasthita, Atmavastu Vishayam Jnanam, that is not possible. Why? Yatha Avasthita means Parinishpanna Siddha Atma, the way it is, already there. Why will anyone talk about it as you do this, you don't do this? If the Siddhanti says, no, we don't say that you do this or you don't do this, is the Tatparya Vishaya. The Tatparya Vishaya is Jnana, Shuddha Jnana. Then he says that if it is Jnana about something which is already there, Shruti cannot be talking about that. Shruti is committed to something which is not Siddha. It is Sadhya, attainable, not already attained. So this is his argument. So finally what? Parinishpanne vastuni kriya vishayo pravritti nivrityoscha asambhavat siddharte vedantanam tatparyam na sambhavati. It is not that we have not examined, we have examined all this. He says, I'll give you the thinking behind that. These days, AI, a lot of these AI tools are there. So you go on the web and you open a chat and you say, you ask something, it will tell you something. And it has, some models have these thinking mode. So you can expand it. If you expand it, you see what it is thinking. Thinking in a sense, what all it is analyzing. So this thinking, he says that you already made a statement, but there is nothing backing it. How did you not find a pramana? It is there. So all that thinking which has gone behind this conclusion, Purvamamsaka says. So Siddhanti invoked this thinking mode of the Purvapakshi. And thereby what? Vedantanam siddharte tatparyam na sambhavati. Why? Vaidika vakyatvat, Vaidika shabdatvat, Vedanta vakyanam api. That is his hetu. All that, for each he has given a hetu. Iti aha yatnata iti. Mula, yatnato vikshamaanopi vidhim, yatnato vikshamaanopi vidhinyanasya na kvachit Shrutau smrutau va pashyami vishwaso nanyatosti naha. So you have to excuse me because I have this trouble of switching into this, the kavya or the padya mode from the gadya mode. So from prose to poetic, this thing is a little tricky. Otherwise, I can just read. But generally, it sounds good if you chant it because it is in Anushtup Chanda. Just reading is not that fun. But I have trouble switching. Many times I have trouble switching because this thing is stuck in the prose mode. So yatnataha vikshamanaha api vidhim jnanasya na kvachit shrutau smrutau va pashyami vishwasaha na anyataha asti naha. Naha asmakam vishwasaha anyataha anyatra nasti. We don't have vishwasa, shraddha in anything other than Shruti. Now this is Drida Shraddha. This is, this is wanting. Everyone should have this Shraddha. So this is appreciable. We say this is wonderful. Purvamamsaka has no Shraddha anywhere except for Shruti. Shastra, Shruti Smriti. So Shrutau Smrutau va Kvachit na pashyami. I don't see any of this anywhere. What you are talking about jnana. How have you spent enough time and effort? He says yatnataha vikshamanaha api. Yatnata vikshamana. With a vishesha drishti, pariksha has been done by me. Even with a vishesha pariksha, vidhim, jnanasya vidhim, Kvachit na pashyami. Kvachit means where? Shrutau smrutau va. Shrutau smrutau va kvachit jnanasya vidhim yatnatah vikshamanaha api aham na pashyami. What kind of me? Yatnatah vikshamana me. With a lot of effort, one who is in detail inquiring into the tatpare vishaya, what is the vidhi, there is a anga angi bhava, vakya shesha somewhere. All that, having seen all that also, while seeing it, I couldn't find it. Then why don't you look elsewhere? He says, no, I will not look elsewhere because nowhere else do I have Shraddha. Only in Shruti and Smriti I have Shraddha. Vishwasa nasti. And yatnata vikshamana api asya jnanasya tava jnanasya vedanta jnanasya yatha avasthita atma vishaya jnanasya vidhim na pashyami aham. I don't see. So that is the 15th verse in the Mula. Tika says, Yatnataha tatparyataha. What is Yatnata? Just doing prayatna. There are a lot of people who make efforts. The quantity of effort is there, but quality is lacking. So they say, where you need to use brains. In Hindi, they have very, insulting term, say, Gadha Majuri. So Gadha Majuri. You struggle a lot, but not using your brains. So if you use, with a small effort, you can do something. But this person is spending entire day laboriously, but this is all Gadha Majuri. Not thinking. It is not like that, he says. Yatnatah means not just effort, tatparyataha. That is pujita vichara. Even with inquiry, trying to put, two and two together, trying to, see all the connections. Still, tatparya vishaya inquiry has not led me to vikshamana api, paryalochayan api. Vikshamana is Sanajanta. And paryalochayan is what? Shatranta. Even inquiring into it with, scrutinizing it with a lot of effort. Jnanasya vidhim. What is that? Vijnana vishayam vidhim. Atma vishaya vidhim. Drashtavya ityadi vakyam pashyanapi. If the Purvapakshi says, Purvamimamsaka, I should say, Purvamimamsaka says that Vedanti says there is, how do you say you have not seen? Have you not seen Drashtavya, Atmavare Drashtavya, Shrotavya, Mantavya, Nidhyasitavya? There is a vidhi. How is it that you say Prayatna you have done, Tatparya Vishaya you have seen, but you have not seen this vidhi? Have you not heard this Drashtavya vidhi? Atmavare Drashtavya. How can you say I have not seen? If that is the question, he says, Drashtavya ityadi vakyam pashyannapi. It is not that I don't know your Vedanta Vakya. You may have to look up. It is Kantastha for me. From my childhood, I have been doing all this. He says, I know all this. It is not that I don't know this Drashtavya Vakya. I know this very well. Drashtavya ityadi vakyam pashyannapi. While seeing that Vakya also, I know it is not the Tatparya the way you see it. There is no Tatparya in Swartha there. It is all Arthavada. Arthavada becomes Anga to the Vidhivakya. Vidhivakya is do this karma. In that karma, this karta is a karaka. That karta stuti is being done. Because the entire day, if you keep on doing, you will not have time for anything else. All day will be consumed in karma. While doing that karma, when you are tired, at the end of the day, you need some rest. And for the next day, you need some push to do this karma. Otherwise, you will be tired and you will sleep off. You will not wake up early in the morning tomorrow. So, Shruti says, you are Brahma. You are Brahma, you are Purna. Then you say, yes. That Josh. You will wake up the next day and again do karma. So, you need some push. Shruti gives that push through Vedanta, says the Purvamimamsaka. It is a stuti, karta stuti. Don't take it literally. Hey, you are free, you are this, you are all this, None of that. Again, you'll fall in samsara. You'll have a lot of dukkha. Instead of that, do karma day in, day out. Study Vedanta for some protsahana. But do. So, Shruti is backing you, saying that, yes, you are great. You do a lot of stuti. Then you end up doing karma. That is all the tatparya there. So, drashtavya iti ityadi vakyam. Pashyannapi pradarshita prayojaka paryalochanaya na pashyami. So, Pashyannapi what? Pradarshita prayojaka paryalochanaya api. Pashyan means not just seeing, hearing, studying in that manner. He says, pradarshita prayojaka paryalochana. What you are talking about, what you are showing, this is the tatparya vishaya. I have seen your tatparya and with that drishti I have seen, I don't find it. Somebody says, this is what I think it means. Yeah, I don't see that. Because you do not know what I am seeing, that is why you are able to make such, wrong conclusions, arrive at some wrong conclusions. Fact is that if you look at the karma drishti, you can see how very nicely all these pieces fit in. That's the Purvamimamsaka's perspective. Pradarshita yat prayojanam pradarshitam. You are saying this is the prayojana. That pradarshita prayojaka paryalochanaya. That is the tatparya. It's a prayojaka for this. I have seen that angle also. You think I couldn't see from the other angle? I have seen from your angle also. I couldn't see. So this Vijnana Vishaya Vidhi is not there. There is no such Vidhi. Atmavare Drashtavya, Shrotavya Mantavya. It is not the Vidhi for Atma Darshana. It is the Vidhi for karma only. By becoming Arthavada and Anga to the Vidhi as a subsidiary to a karma Vidhi, that you do this karma. For that, you are this kind of a karta. Only you, when you do it, it will be successful. So with a lot of praise, sycophancy, you will come and yes, only I can do it. Then you will do karma. So Shruti is saying that Pashyannapi drashtavya ityadi vakyam. Pashyannapi means what? Pradarshita prayojaka paryalochanaya api na pashyami aham. Kim na pashyami? Jnana vidhim na pashyami. Karma pravritti hetubhuta kartratma jnana vidhi paratvat tasya. Then what is the tatparya? Why you have seen and what have you concluded? If the Vedanti asks the Purvamamsaka, he says karma pravritti hetubhuta kartra atma jnana vidhi paratvat tasya. Tasya kasya drashtavya ityadi vakyasya Vedanta vakyasya Upanishad vakyanam Jato ekvachanam, all the vakyasya. Kim tatparyam iti chet, he says, it is a vidhi. It is a vidhi, all right. But it is not jnana vidhi. What is a vidhi? Paratvat, it is para, it is tatparya. What is tatparya? It is committed, paratvat, because it is committed to a vidhi of which jnana? Not atma vishayaka jnana. Jnana, not, but it is Atma Vishek means about you, but not that Brahmatma that you think it is. It is that Atma is Karta. Kartra Atma Jnana Vidhi Paratvat. Tasya Vakyasya Vedanta Vakyasya. It talks about that it is Vidhi of Jnana. Know that Atma only, but which Atma? Which is Karta. And who is this Karta? Karma Pravritti Hetu Bhuta Karta. Karma cannot be done unless one has pravritti. There should be a karta. Without the karta, karma cannot take place. Karma has to be done. For that, you need karta. See, let's say you have a plan. You have a huge plan to do something. You have enough money also. But who will do it? That is the problem. Who will do it? I can't do it. Who will do it? I have money. I can't do it. I need somebody who can do this. So this karma is already ready. I know. I have ideas. I can't do it. I can give ideas. Can you do it? So I need a karta. Karma pravritti hetu bhuta. For the karma to get done, there is pravritti needed. That pravritti hetu is who? This karta. Without the karta, karma cannot be done. For that karma, karta should be known. Who is that karta? Kartrat atma jnana vidhi paratva. Thereby Shruti says, oh, look at this karta. You are this kind of a karta. But you are still a karta, not a karta. You are a karta. And thereby karma pravritti hetu bhuta kartratma jnana vidhi paratva tasya drashtavityadi vakyasya moksha sadhana jnana vishayatva abhavad ityartha. Shruti can have only one tatparya. Otherwise, there is Vakya dosha. You have to study Purvamamsa also for this. Vakya bheda dosha. Just like we saw, the Nitya Naimittika karma can have no results, or it can have Swarga result, or it can have Pratyavaya dosha nivarana. You cannot say it will have all this, or one or more of this, and then also what? Sanchita counter. It will take away Sanchita. It cannot have multiple results. Shruti Vakya Mimamsa is that it will have only one result. It will not have two results. Only one result. That is the Tatparya. Otherwise, there is a Vakya Bheda dosha. So you have to do the Mimamsa, Pujita Vichara of the Vakya, look at all the Angangi Bhava, see the Vyavastha, and conclude what is the Phala. Only one Tatparya. It cannot have multiple. So now what is the Tatparya that the Purvamamsaka has concluded? Karma pravritti hetu bhuta kartratma jnana vidhi paratva tasya drashtavya ityadi Vedanta vakyasya or vakyanam moksha sadhana jnana vishayatvam nasti. It is not jnana vishaya, which is what jnana? Moksha sadhana. Moksha sadhana jnana, which is swarupavasthana lakshana jnana, that mukti, that kind of vishaya is not there for that vakya at all. Vedanta vakya don't have tatparya in being moksha sadhana, which is what? Jnana. Swarupavasthana lakshana mukti, the such atma vishaya jnana is not possible because the tatparya is not that. The Shruti is not committed to that. That is not DVD there. Know your atma, Swarupa, Swarupavasthana lakshana mukti you'll get only from this. Such is not DVD at all. Shruti smriti nirapekshanapi mokshaya jnane pravrittihi saugatadehe drishyate ityatra. Saugata is another name used here in Shastra for Buddha. So Bauddha, Jainas, they are Nastikas, they don't care for your Vedas, but still they have pravritti in moksha sadhana jnana. They also say Atma should be known. How? Marga may be different. What Atma? And Atma Swarupa is also different. They'll say, Atma is size of the body. Jainas says the Atma is of the size of the body. To whom we ask in Brahma Sutra, counter is, okay, if the Atma is of the size of the body, which body? Which body? Bodies vary, human bodies vary. And you agree with karma theory that Jiva has janma, multiple janmas in various shariras. So how will the Manushya, let's say a Samanya Manushya Sharira, that is the size of the Atma. You'll say there's a varying range, something like that. Now the issue is that this Atma of the size of a human body, how will it enter the, if it gets a Kita Janma or an Ant's Janma, how will it enter the Ant Sharira? Not possible. How about if it gets a elephant's Janma and enters the elephant Sharira, it will not be Vyap. Human Atma, sized Atma, may enter the elephant body, but it will be in Ekadesha. It cannot be in entire body of the elephant. Then your philosophy has gone for a toss. How will one feel? How will the elephant feel? All its angas? Not possible. But it feels. How this anubhava of the entire sharira takes place. If Atma is in one corner, sitting in one corner, will not know Sukha Dukkha, Shiro Vedana. If a headache is there, then only headache is known. Can never know any other ache. Cannot know the leg is pricked or something. So all these arguments, and then that is just the a laughable argument. You laugh at the philosophy. But the fact is that Atma will change size. If Atma changes size, then it is Anitya. So anyway, that is Jaina. They also have moksha sadhana, jnana vishayatva is there, even without having vidhi of Shruti. And second, what? The Bauddhas, they'll talk about Shunya, but they also talk about yoga and jnana and all that. So here he says, if at all it be asked, Vedanta will not ask, but somebody asks, Shruti smriti nirapekshanam api mokshaya jnane pravrittihi saugatadehe drishyate ityatra. We have seen, without the Shruti also people have moksha sadhana. Western philosophers all the while talking about philosophy, they have nothing to do with your Vedas. So why not? Why do you see only in Shruti and Smriti? If you don't find pramana in Shruti, Smriti, look elsewhere. He says no. Why? Vishwasaha nasti anyatra. Anyataha means anyatra. Veda pramana anusarinam asmakam Shruti Smriti vyatirekena na pravritti. We don't have, somebody says you look at this also. Many people even suggest books. Why don't you look at this, study? Hey, I have no interest. Sufficient is there in our Shastra. That itself is not been done in bits and pieces. Why will I study something else? So here he says, pravrittihi, we don't have shraddha in this. We don't care for other Paurusha Granthas. Apaurusha Shruti is there, and based on that there is Smriti. So Veda Pramana Anusarinam Asmakam. Naha means what? Asmakam, for us who are followers of Veda Pramana, Veda only as Pramana. Shruti Smriti Vyatirekena. Shruti, which is Veda, and Smriti, which is based on Shruti as Pramana, unopposed to Shruti. Shruti Smriti Vyatirekena pravritti nasti eva. We don't care. Itara pravrittehe. Why? What do you mean? Just because you don't care, it will not be Pramana? It will not be Pramana, not because I don't care. I don't care because it is not Pramana. Not the other way around. Don't put the, cart before the horse. What I am saying, don't misinterpret. He says, I am saying that I don't have pravritti in others because I don't have vishwasa there. Why? Because they are not pramana. They are aparushya. They are not aparushya. They are paurushya granthas. They have human flaws. He says, itara pravritte bhranti mulakataya. There is no basis. Bhranti, somebody thinks about something and creates a philosophy. It is not factual, not tattva. इतर प्रवृत्ते भ्रांति मूलकतया प्रामाणिकत्व अनंगीकारादित्यर्थ because they are भ्रांति मूला therefore meaning they are based on some kalpana does not mean fact. So kalpana having the philosopher other philosophers have their granthas have created their darshana based on kalpana which is bhranti, therefore they are not pramana, and because they are not pramana we don't have vishwasa. That's why I don't want to see anywhere else, only in Shruti and Smriti. And having seen that, I don't see Tatparya in Atma Vishayaka Jnana that you talk about, but Kartra Vishayaka Jnana, which is committed to karma. That is the whole of 15 there. Thereby, we'll close this and we'll look at the next 16th is on the next page. So we'll continue on the 16th page in the 16th verse in the next part. यत् साक्षात् सच्चिदानंदं प्रत्यगद्वयम् अक्रियं तन्नमामि नृसिंहस्य योगी गम्यं परम पदम. Any questions, anyone? Sorry, I forgot. I didn't see the time. I went over time. Okay, I'll see in the next part. I'll try to cut down on the class time. Let's see. But it's difficult when you're on a boundary of a topic. So, okay.
Sorry.